Finally, Christie conquers the Classic!
Can Christie conquer Grand? It kind of feels like Christie versus the Scopers. Who's going to win? Can Christie get 2 Classics in 3 years? Or will be one of these young guns like Milliken, Williams, or Patrick, or somebody like that? I guess we will see. We're going to get into breaking down Grand Lake in just a few minutes, but let's talk about how Lake Fork went and congratulate our winners. Lake Fork was a ton of fun. 10 century belts handed out, about 15 more anglers that were on pace for century belts that didn't get a chance to go out on the final day because they didn't make the cut, but were definitely on pace to get 100 pounds. A little more variety than Toledo Bend. We saw more than just jerkbaits and minnows. We saw more anglers fishing shallow. We saw jigs. We saw swim baits. We saw Matty Wong and the glide bait. A lot more things, a lot more interesting tournament. Super fun tournament to watch on Bass Live, in my opinion. Now we go to the Classic, and I wonder if it's going to be more like Bend or more like Fork, or maybe a grinder could do something special in this tournament. Going over to the Beat HellaBass group, looking at our winner from the Lake Fork event was Jay Crosby. Congratulations. Watch for an email pretty soon. And the winners from Toledo Bend, I'll get some prize packs out from chattyboys.com. Thank you so much, chattyboys.com, for supporting the channel and supporting fantasy fishing here at Beat HellaBass, supplying all the prizes. You want to get in on the action. You didn't win any prizes. Don't worry, you can go and check out. They got great deals on a bunch of stuff for your boat, fishing tackle, lots of things. And you can use code HBFREE to get free shipping on any orders at chattyboys.com. Please support the channel. Go check out Chatty Boys. Just take a browse on their website and see what you think. And then for Drain the Lake, Clay Williamson. Even Clay fell for the Lee Livesey crap. But in the end, he had Trey McKinney and he had the winner, and that's what it takes to do well in Drain the Lake. So Grand Lake looks to be much warmer than the event that Edwin Evers won several years back. Looks like we're going to be a little bit later in March. We're going to be on a bigger warming trend, higher water temps. Let's jump over to the Omnia fishing maps to kind of see what's going on here. I do have Premium Pro, so I can turn on the Pro map layers here, and we can take a look at several things. This is super helpful for breaking down new water, doing research on lakes. Water clarity, as you'd expect, pretty clear down the bottom of the lake, and then as you get up the lake, you get a little more color in Grand Lake. Temperature-wise, definitely cooler down towards the dam. You've got some pockets of slightly warmer water in different areas of the lake. You can see we've got water temps anywhere from kind of the low 50s to upper 50s. You do see some pockets here in the really shallow water potentially approaching 60 degrees, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if we're quite going to be warm enough this being spawning, but there could be some early spawners in this tournament, which I think find to be super interesting for this time of year, which would be a little early for Grand Lake for sure, which makes me think maybe, just maybe, the grinders could have a chance in this tournament. Jumping down to fishing reports, you can see where we have a few anglers here that have posted March fishing reports from past years, and you see jigs, spinner baits, glide baits, power fishing, shallow fishing as a dominant opportunity here. A-rigs definitely play, but not available for this tournament, and I think we'll be kind of a little warm for A-rigs this go around at Grand Lake. If you're interested in checking out Premium Pro and all those layers, I will have a link down on the description down below if you'd like to check it out. It comes with points and free shipping, a lot of other benefits at Omnia when you shop there. And I can also put this QR code up on the screen right here, and you can screenshot or scan that and check it out on your mobile device. Now let's get into picking my team for Grand Lake, as well as after we pick the traditional game, we will get into Drain the Lake and then talk about my tiebreaker for this event. And Drain Lake's a little unique because we got some new participants for the Classic. As always, I like to start in Bucket E. Bucket E is interesting this year. Tyler Williams and Patrick, open winners, rookies, both doing well in their Elite Series debut, gaining a lot of attention, and as they should. They definitely both did their pre-practice, went in December, put the work in. I think they could be interesting picks here. I also think if you're looking for somebody super, super sneaky, you could look at Powell Kemp, who won on her reservoir, Bugs Island, throwing a spinnerbait in the spring. So if you want a poor man's Jason Christie, think about Powell Kemp if you want a super sneaky low percentage pick. Me, I'm going Easton Fothergill. Easton Fothergill's got some experience here in college events. I'm pretty sure he put some work in ahead of time. Super versatile angler, good at the scope, good at catching them in a lot of different ways. He's one of the up and comer, probably one of the most talented anglers we've seen coming out of college, probably since like Jay Lee. So I guess we'll see. But I like Easton Parthgill at less than 10% as a pretty good value pick. And he's one of the Minnesota guys. But you couldn't go wrong with Williams or Patrick either. Both a couple of powerhouse lithium guys. Should be awesome to see. Hamner getting all the love in bucket D along with Taku Itu. They're kind of flipped back and forth. Both really good picks. Ito, seems to be getting better and stronger at the largemouth game. Cooper Gallant. I think Cody Huff is a sneaky pick here. He's an Ozarks guy. He's got some experience here in opens and other events. Definitely has cashed some checks. Could be good. Pat Schlopper, interesting pick here. We see a lot of guys from Wisconsin and Minnesota do well on Grand Lake for some reason, so I wouldn't count him out. And then, but Justin Hamner is my guy. I'm going a little bit chalk here, but here's the thing. There's this Lake Hartwell thing. There's like a synergy between Hartwell and Grand. Christie, super good on Grand, won a Classic on Hartwell, won an FLW event on Hartwell, does really well there. Other guys do well on Grand that are they seem to fish really similar. They set up people that read that water seem to do well in both those lakes. Hamner, I think, had a top 3 or 5 at the Classic. At Hartwell, he loves a jig and a jerkbait. Both of those should set up super well at Grand Lake. So I think Hamner's a really good pick here in bucket D. Bucket C, Fujita, almost 50% of the pick. Rivette getting a little love. The Cowboy, Canterbury did pretty well at Knoxville last year, had a top 2 or 3 finish. Interesting picks. Will Davis Jr., another interesting guy here. But I like Jay Shakurit for the same reason that I almost picked Schlopper and kind of, Wisconsin, Minnesota guys seem to do well there. He's got a co-angler win in the Opens. He's got another check in the Bassmaster Opens the year he qualified for the Bassmaster Elite Series. It translates for our anglers from the upper Midwest to Grand Lake for some reason. He's super versatile. He's got a couple like really solid finishes, just under the radar, super solid finishes at Fork and Toledo Bend. This could be a breakout event for him in 2024. I think Shakurit is a really sneaky pick in bucket C. Milliken getting the love, almost 50%. The MFers are backing up Milliken. This is halfway back home to Nebraska from where he's now in Texas. He's going to have a huge fan base. The one thing I'm concerned is there could be a huge amount of people following Ben around on the lake, and it might be interesting to see how that affects his fishing. This could look like the second coming of KVD from a fan perspective if the 402 shows up at Grand Lake. So that'll be interesting to see. Blaylock, pretty good in the spring. Interesting pick. If the big baits play, I think Robertson could be a sneaky dark horse, but he's a wild card, a little bit of a high reward, high risk type pick. But I'm going to go Kenta Kimura. I know it says Hirakata Japan under his name on the screen, but honestly, his roots are in Oklahoma and Grand Lake. When he moved to the U.S., he's got a ton of experience there. Several high open finishes, almost some wins. Kenta Kimura fished his first Classic last year in Knoxville. Didn't have a great finish, but a lot of times first Classics are a lot to take in for anglers, and once they've had one, then they do a lot better going forward. So I think Kenta could be really good here. Finally, bucket A. Walters, Polnick, Palmer, Welcher, Hackney, so many big names. Cherry, looking for his third win. Gussie, looking to repeat here, going back to back. I mean, that's not uncommon. Between Lee and Cherry, there's been a lot of back-to-back Classic winners. Palmer and Welcher, if you want to think about the Hartwell effect, both top 5s at the Hartwell Classic, they could be good here. Palmer's an Oklahoma native. If you're looking for somebody a little bit lower percentage, I think Palmer and Welcher are really good picks. Walters probably is going to win a Classic someday, but I'm going to go Christie. I'm going to go Chalk. I think he's hungry. Even though he won Hartwell, I think the way it went down with Edwin Evers last time they were here, I think he's got some unfinished business with Grand Lake. So I'm going to go Christie. I am going to go Chalk, trying to mix it up a little bit. Some little bit sneakier picks, some higher end picks, and see how that works out for us. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the Classic, but if I do, it'll be last minute. I'll definitely post on the community board on YouTube. I'll definitely share it on Instagram and things like that. Follow me on those socials. If you're going to the Classic and I make it down there, I definitely want to meet up and say hi to as many of you as possible. Probably catch me bouncing around booth to booth, looking at the show, maybe hang out at the Powerhouse Lithium booth for a while. If you see me, I will have some of my Classic or some of my YouTube stickers. Happy to hand some of those out to anybody that's interested in those. You can slap them on your favorite tumblers, your tackle boxes, anything like that. But would love to meet you. If you're thinking about it, I think the Classic is a great show for tackle. It's a great way to meet other people that's interested in fishing, people you meet through social media, pros. I don't know. It's an awesome event. So I really hope I get to go and hope to see some of you there. Now let's get on to Drain the Lake and the tiebreaker. All right, we're going to take Christie, Palmer, another local here. I'm going to double down quite a bit here and take some of the same anglers in my regular game as fantasy fishing. I am going to take Fothergill here because that is a pick that I can use in the classic, and I don't have to use him in a different event. So it saves me kind of a spot for the future events for elite rosters or elite anglers. I'm going to take Welcher, Murrah. I like Mosley here to keep a balanced roster. He's a big chatterbait guy. That could be good. Going to take Porosnik. And just in case Cherry somehow wins his third classic, we are going to take Hank Cherry as well. So I got Christie, Luke Palmer, Easton Fothergill, Kyle Welcher, Kenta Kimura, Brock Mosley, Jacob Prosnick, Hank Cherry, and I think about 57 pounds, 9 ounces. That 18, 19 pounds a day on average, I think is about where we're going to land. There'll probably be some low 20-pound bags, but I think on the average, it's going to be just under 60 pounds for the win. Hope to see some of you at the Classic. Ozarks are known for crankbaits and wiggle warts and things like that in the spring. If you're interested in a recent little haul I got on Facebook Marketplace and some sweet crankbaits that I got, check out this video on the screen coming up right here.